what I'm here to talk about you today is something you might have heard before and might be a little cliche, but high school is hard, right? But what I've learned is that you're going to make it through it. So I'm a senior here, and I've been going here for all 4 years of high school. And recently, I've been looking back at everything that's changed over the years, and well, it's really been a lot. So let's look at each year here. So my freshman year, when I was a freshman, I didn't really want to be here, like, at all. I had been transplanted here by my parents and did not want to leave my friends or my life in California behind. So I focused on the negative. I thought, well, I'll never be happy here, so I'm never going to try. And I didn't try anything, and I barely put myself out there or made friends or do activities, and I never really participated in anything. And it took my older brother Curtis, who, if you know him, isn't really the biggest participator himself, to convince me that I needed to participate and do something. So that's how you kind of know it was bad. So Curtis ended up letting me hang out with his friends and do stuff with them, and that's kind of when I finally started to learn to let go and enjoy myself, because I wasn't going to change where I was. So that leads to my sophomore year. Sophomore year, I joined our brand new HVA cheer team, and I know, legendary stuff, and I really enjoyed myself. And it was the first time that I had tried something new since I came here, and I realized that sometimes it pays off to put yourself out there. But while I thought I was doing great, it's hard to keep the negative thoughts away, and I think that when you start something new, it's really easy to get self-conscious about everything. So I constantly worried about being annoying or being too fat or not pretty enough or not cool enough to do what I was doing, and I swore I heard people talking about me and being mean behind my back, and it was upsetting because it was different from freshman year when I was upset, because this time I'd really tried, and I'd really tried to make an effort, but so it all led to some destructive behavior, and it was kind of a sad part of my life, but I didn't really get out of it until someone I knew had had a health scare, and I was faced with the fragility of life, and I realized that, you know, if my time here is limited, I can't spend it worrying about things I can't change, like what people think of me. So I headed into my junior year, happy with who I was and where I was. But, of course, being the problematic person I am, it didn't last for long. Curtis, who was a senior at the time, started applying to colleges and taking ACTs and looking at his grades, and I couldn't help but compare myself. I would go down these negative thought spirals that started with getting a bad score on my ACT and ended up with me living on the streets. So, needless to say, it didn't happen, but I was just constantly struck with this awful anxiety that I just wasn't good enough and I wouldn't ever live up to my brother. But I watched him and I watched all the seniors last year go through the college process, and I watched them all end up where they did, and it just taught me that, you know, as long as you try your best, and you're going to end up in the perfect place for you. So I realized that I might not have the highest ACT score or be as good as Curtis, but I tried. So now I stand in front of you as a senior with only a month and a half or so to graduation, which is kind of scary, but because of how hard high school was, I'm a better person now. And don't let this scare you if you're an underclassman, because there really are so many moments from high school here that I love. Like sophomore year, the bookstore used to sell Otter Pops, and I would be late to every single class with 6 Otter Pops in hand. And junior year and even this year, O'Leary would get annoyed with us for taking the same squad photo in the photo booth at every dance. And so I'm grateful for the hardships, though, because they taught me to be happy in any situation, to love myself, and get rid of negative thinking, no matter how often it appears. And obviously, everything's not always going to be perfect all the time, but